From Royal Communications Incorporated, good morning. Welcome to King's Newsroom for the 5 minutes of news from Liberia and the rest of our one world. Today is December 24, Christmas Eve 2025. My name is Cornelius Johnson, presenting this early morning edition of the program. Story topping the headlines. In an effort to strengthen community health care and empower women in Riverside County, the Ruth Coker Collins Development Foundation for Women, Girls, and Youth Empowerment certificates over 180 trained traditional midwives women. National Lottery Authority launches what it described as major humanitarian donation initiative targeting persons living with disabilities across southeastern region of the country. Front Page Africa managing editor Rodney C criticizes the United Party-led government for what he described as consistent attacks on Front Page Africa and other media institutions over the reportage on national governance away from home. There's growing anger in Malawi over a post-Christmas fortnight trip to the UK that one of the country's vice president is due to take. The news bulletin, voices of the newsmakers, our foreign developments are all packaged in this edition of the program. We take a very short break to be right back. Thanks for being there. Let's now have the news bulletin. Jurors in the ongoing criminal trial against former House Speaker, Councillor Fonati Kofa, and several co-defendants Tuesday raised serious doubts at Criminal Court A over the reliability of video evidence presented by the prosecution first state witness Raphael Wilson. During the concluding testimony in prosecution, first state witness ACP Wilson centered on video footage and photographs allegedly showing defendant Topman Etheridge participating in the November 10, 2024 desecration of the Capitol building chamber by removing chairs. However, following the playing of the video, one of the jurors questioned the witness whether the individual shown in the video was in fact the defendant before the court. In response, the witness admitted to the court that the defendant's name, Topman Average, is and currently in dock of the court. In a moment that drew visible attention in the courtroom, one juror told the witness that the person in the video is a Chinese man and not defendant Etheridge. Jurors reportedly asked ACP Wilson to point out defendant Topman Etheridge in the dock and to confirm whether the person in the video and the defendant were the same individual, despite the doubts raised by the juror. The witness Wilson maintained that the individual seen in the video footage is defendant Etheridge. ACP Wilson acknowledged that only one photograph was taken from the crime scene, a revelation that appeared to trouble both jurors and the court, given the seriousness of the alleged offense and the reliance placed on visual evidence. George Roosevelt Willie joined jurors in pressing the witness on apparent inconsistencies in his testimony, particularly regarding the number of defendants involved in the case. ACP Wilson had earlier referenced 16 defendants during his testimony, leading George Roosevelt Willie to question the whereabouts of the others, noting that only 11 defendants are currently before the court. The witness, named defendant Patrick Sai Ali, Representative Priscilla Cooper, and Representative Jerry Yokbo are additional defendants added to the one, noting that only Representative Jerry Yokbo charge has not been submitted to the prosecution. The National Lottery Authority of Liberia has launched what it described as a major humanitarian donation initiative targeting persons living with disabilities across southeastern Liberia. The simultaneous distribution exercise was carried out in Maryland, Granco, Rivergy, Sino, and Grangita counties as part of the authority's corporate social responsibility program aimed at supporting vulnerable and marginalized groups. Speaking during the distribution, Ms. Helena Duo, Assistant Director for Welfare at the National Lottery Authority, emphasized the initiative aligns with the NLA's course mandate to provide care, protection, and social support to vulnerable populations, including persons with disabilities, orphans, the elderly, and public welfare institutions. Ms. Duo disclosed that unlike previous years when donations were limited to a few counties, the current leadership of NLA has expanded the program nationwide. She further noted that the initiative was follow sanctioned by the offices of President Joseph Boakai and Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn, reinforcing the government's commitment to uplifting Liberia's most vulnerable citizens. She, however, assured members of the disabled community that their welfare remains a priority. Ms. Duo revealed that the donation package includes over 800 bags of 25 kilograms of rice, cooking oil, soap, and other essential items, with plans to extend similar support to hospitals, safe homes, and other social institutions in the coming weeks. The managing director of the National Port Authority has underscored the importance of teacher training in order to mold the minds of students in schools throughout the country. Mr. Sekou Dukle said his administration at the NPA will work with institutions engaged in providing education, especially for young people in areas of its operation. Mr. Dukle's assertion was contained in a speech delivered on his behalf by Dawuda Belite, the Director of Governmental and International Affairs of the National Port Authority, at the graduation ceremony of the Liberia Steno Teacher Training College held in the borough of Nuku Town. In remarks, the National Training Director of the Liberia Steno Teacher Training College, Reverend Andrew Faya, appealed to the Liberian government to begin assisting teacher training institutions. At the end of the program, about 55 students were awarded diplomas for successfully completing the requirements of the institutions and those required by the National Commission on Higher Education. The managing director of Front Page Africa, Rodney C., has criticized the Unity Party-led government for what he described as consistent attacks on Front Page Africa and other media institutions over the reportage on national governance. Recently, From Page Africa published its annual performance review of the Boakakun administration, asserting or assessing cabinet ministers and key governance sectors for 2025 based on delivery, accountability, and national impact. The report also evaluated the performance of President Joseph Boakai, Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn, and other critical sectors of government, presenting a picture of modest progress, but highlighting persistent underperformance in several key areas. The report has sparked mixed reactions as some government officials and supporters of the ruling party have questioned the credibility of the newspaper, alleging that portions of the report, particularly those citing underperformance in critical sectors, were influenced by pay-for-play considerations. Meanwhile, appearing on OKFM recently, Rodney C. described the ruling party's alleged actions as counterproductive to press freedom and a threat to democratic principles. He accused certain government officials and supporters of the ruling party of displaying hostility towards the media, warning that such actions undermine the country's governance process. The Front Page Africa managing editor followed caution President Joseph Boakai to take seriously the concerns being raised by citizens and media institutions about his administration, warning that failure to do so could have serious political consequences. Ahead of the festive season, Telecommunications Orange Liberia has donated full items to residents of Electoral District 8 in Montserrat County. The donation includes 248 half bags of 25 kilograms of rice, along with 150 gallons of cooking oil intended to support vulnerable citizens during the Christmas season. Presenting the items, an agent of Orange Liberia urged local authorities in District 8 to ensure transparency in the distribution process so as the items reach community members fairly and directly. The donation was formally received by District 8 Representative Prince Tools, who recommended or commended Orange Liberia for what he described as a timely relief for the less fortunate during the holiday period. Representative Tools assured the company that the distribution process will be carried out transparently, ensuring that all communities within Montserrat County District 8 benefit from the donation at this time of need. In an effort to strengthen community health care and empower women in Riverside County, the Ruth Coca Collins Development Foundation for Women, Girls, and Youth Empowerment has certificated over 180 trained traditional midwives for their dedication to improving maternal and child care birth across the county. The program, which saw over 200 parading the streets of Yapa Town, was described as Youth Coca-Cola's Development Foundation demonstration of enduring commitment to grassroots development and women empowerment through the impactful work of the Ruth Coca-Cola's Development Foundation. Speaking during a well-attended program in Riverside County recently, former Public Works Minister and Chief Executive Officer of the Ruth Coca-Collins Foundation, Madam Ruth Coca-Collins, reaffirmed the foundation's vision of reaching underserved communities with particular focus on women, girls, and frontline healthcare workers. She emphasized that many of the midwives leave their home, are down, and work long hours with limited resources, yet remain committed to serving their communities with compassion and resilience. Madam Ruth Coca-Collins also commended their active involvement of traditional leaders, including chiefs whose participation and guidance continue to strengthen development efforts at the community level. She encouraged the newly certificated midwives to remain steadfast in their work, ensuring that their foundation will continue to advocate for their recognition and integration within the broader healthcare system. In remarks, former Minister of Health, Dr. Wilhelmina Jada, lauded the Ruth Coca-Cola's Development Foundation for its outstanding contribution to strengthening community healthcare through the certification and honoring of traditionally trained midwives in Riverside County. Speaking at a well-attended ceremony in Yakpatown, Dr. Jala described the initiative as timely and impactful, noting that it recognizes women whose dedication forms the backbone of maternal and childcare delivery in rural communities. The president of the National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, James Sayiki, has ended a one-day engagement with officials of the union in Bon County aimed at addressing critical challenges facing Liberia's rubber sector. Speaking during the engagement, Sayiki emphasized that National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia aim is to protect the interests of small and vulnerable farmers or rubber farmers, local brokers, and Liberian exports, whom he described as key entrepreneurs driving the rubber economy. He noted that while Liberia is rich in natural resources such as gold, diamonds, iron ore, and rubber, the government has failed to adequately regulate and add value to these resources, particularly in agriculture. Something he said rubber is one of Liberia's major export commodities, yet the government has not been ready to properly follow up policies that will benefit the people who actually produce it. According to him, Rubber Planters Association of Liberia represent large plantations of 100 acres, including companies such as Firestone, Salala Rubber Corporation, and others while small farmers remain excluded from decision-making processes. He further argued that when the law creating the Liberia Rubber Development Authority was appealed and replaced with Rubber Planters Association of Liberia framework, smallholder farmers were never part of the discussions. A move, he said, violates Liberia's constitution. ArcelorMittal Liberia says it has hired nearly 5,000 Liberian contractors between January and October of this year. Figures from the company's contractors compliance section show that 73 contractors firms recruited a total of 4,635 workers, according to the company's contractors compliance section, with 2,883 were skilled, while 1,752 were unskilled. The report further indicated that 1,558 of the skilled and 1,229 of the unskilled contractors were selected from fence-line communities. It added that in October, 739 contractors or Liberians were recruited. Analysis of the data concluded that 54% of contractors hired during the period were skilled, while 70% of unskilled workforce came directly from fence-line communities. The National Muslim Students Association of Liberia has set 3 communities or committees aimed at holding its General Assembly, reviewing its constitution, and holding elections for new corps of officers. The association's president, Ibrahim Dolly, disclosed that the committee for the General Assembly is headed by Abu Jabate as chairman, Fatumata Ba, co-chairperson, and Aliyu Dolly, Secretary General. Addressing a press conference in Monrovia, Mr. Dolly added that the Independent Election Committee, comprised of Mustafa Sherman, Chairman, Benu Kamara, co-chairperson, and Hassan Kaba, Secretary General. Dolly named the Constitution Review Committee to include Abdul Karim Sharif, Chairman, Esther Wia, co-chairperson, and Jallo, Secretary General. The governor of the borough of Nuku Town has delivered the state of affairs of the borough, outlining his administration achievements since his appointment by President Joseph Boakai. Speaking during a meeting with residents of St. Paul Bridge community, Governor Robert Tier disclosed that his administration has been able to seek scholarships from the Chinese and Indian embassies for young residents to study in those countries. Mr. Tier explained that he has also asked the management of Monrovia Brewery Company to construct high school in the borough because it has operated in the area for more than 50 years and there is nothing to show as its social corporate responsibility. The governor of the borough of Nugu Town added that his administration has also established a police force to assist the Liberia National Police and the Monrovia City Police on security operation in the borough. And a visually impaired man residing in Batnersville is calling on humanitarians and well-meaning citizens to support him in expanding his small business. Speaking to our reporter at the intersection of Broad and Johnson Street, Lawrence Kabila said that although he is visually impaired, he does not want to become a burden or an embarrassment on people he meets on a daily basis. Lawrence, who is currently a local airtime vendor, disclosed that he started his business in October with just $300 Liberian. Today, he says he has been able to grow the business to nearly $10,000 Liberian, which he uses to support the welfare of his 4-year-old child. According to him, his next goal is to improve the business by moving from selling airtime by hand to operating a scratch card box, which he will also allow him include mobile money services if he receives assistance from goodwill citizens. Kabila, who believes that disability is not inability, encourage other persons living with disabilities to engage in meaningful income generating activities in order to avoid what he described as daily mockery and embarrassment. the news bulletin. We take a very short break. When we come back, we bring you the voices of the newsmakers. Indeed, if you just join us, a reminder you are in tune to King's Newsroom, 45 minutes of news from Liberia and the rest of our one world. Today is December 24, Christmas Eve. My name is Cornelius Johnson. Angering this morning, one of our top stories. National Lottery Authority launches what they describe as major humanitarian donation initiative targeting persons living with disabilities across southeastern region of Liberia. Let's now bring you voices of the newsmakers. Today's development now, the managing editor of Front Page Africa, Rodney C., has criticized the Unity Party-led government for what he described as consistent attacks on Front Page Africa and other media institutions on their reportage on national governance. Recently, Front Page Africa published its annual performance review of the Boakako administration, assessing cabinet ministers and key governance sectors for 2025 based on delivery, accountability, and national impact. The report also evaluated the performance of President Joseph Boakai, Vice President Jeremiah Cohen, and other critical sectors of government, presenting a picture of modest progress, but highlighting persistent underperformance in several key areas. Appearing on OKFM recently, Rodney C. described the ruling party's alleged actions as counterproductive to press freedom and a threat to democratic principles. He accused certain government officials and supporters of the ruling party displaying hostility towards media institutions, warning that such actions undermine the country's governance process. Here now is Rodney C.
People are angry. They're behaving like opposition. They're fighting everybody.
I think Senator Snow said something similar to what you say.
They're fighting everybody.
Are you serious, Rodney?
And it's not, they fight you, they fight me. When we put the graves out last week,
one of them was saying some bad things about me recently. I heard, but
the text messages I got from people, the response that it generated. This is something we've been doing for the last decade plus. The very same people you see in government today were outspoken against previous government.
Exactly.
And this grading thing, people say, "Oh, why? How you came about this?" Don't think about it like a crack.
And Rodney, I'm not, before you go further, the thing about it is that most of the time when the people in opposition, they use the Front Page Africa grading to say, "Hey, you see, the government doing nothing." FPS said not do it. They all men get F.
The previous government, I think there's too much anger in the country right now. And they may think that they're helping the president, but they're falling prey to a recurring circle in Liberia's tragic past.
Are they making
that is sycophancy. And President Boakai is falling to that sycophancy.
He's the managing editor of Front Page Africa. The managing director of the National Port Authority has underscored the importance of teacher training in order to mold the minds of students in schools throughout the country. Mr. Sekou Dukli said his administration at the NPA will work with institutions engaged in providing education, especially for young people in area of its operation. Mr. Dukli's section was contained in a speech delivered on his behalf by Dawuda Ability, the Director of Governmental and International Affairs of the National Port Authority, at the graduation ceremony of the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College held in the borough of Nukritown. In remarks, the National Training Director, let's now bring you Mr. Dawuda Ability, Director of National Governmental and International Affairs of the National Port Authority.
It was rewarding to see Liberians, mostly women, graduating from a teacher school. We definitely need trained teachers in our various classes. The team I brought here was to make sure we encourage those in classes to understand the students, understand the environment the students live. It's difficult when people are waking up in the morning, don't even have food to eat. You have to go to school. It's tough. So teachers have to be patient, like I said, and listen to their students and understand the kind of students that they are dealing with. They're going in the classroom to teach. It's not just about teaching. It's about instilling that discipline, that confidence in the young people, the young leaders of tomorrow. So my address to the graduating class today will be based on the fact that if they can understand the teaching or the students that they are teaching, they will be role model for leaders tomorrow here in Liberia. I'm pretty sure this school actually prepared their students and they are ready. Teaching is not just a job; it's a calling. Some get in it, for the money, but then you get in it and you realize, you know what? There are thousands of people that depend on you. Look at the president we have here today. Imagine the first person that taught him in school, the first person that taught him in sixth grade, in 12th grade, in grade level. So teachers have very, very serious impact on the lives of our young people and even our older people. The difficulties that they are facing when it comes to teacher pay, when it comes to school fees, they are struggling.
He remarks, the National Training Director of the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College, Reverend Andrew Faya, appealed to the Liberian government to begin assisting teacher training institutions in the country. Here now is the Liberia National Standard Teacher Training College Training Director, Reverend Andrew Faya.
The education sector of Liberia is still faced with huge challenge in her struggle for a better system. And one key area in the training of her present and incoming teachers and school administrators. If you take a keen look across our country, you will find out that there are facts around us of many untrained teachers and school administrators in our school environment across Liberia, which is seriously undermining the quality of education being offered. With this in mind, the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College is fully committed to buttressing national government teachers' qualification policy and to accelerate improvement to affordable and inclusive quality teacher education for all. Liberia Standard Teacher Training College is fully aware that most of our teachers, especially teachers in the private schools, are finding it very difficult for higher education due to low salary and high cost of living. This has placed many teachers in the low income bracket across our country. It is based upon this, the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College, in collaboration with Education Watch Network of Liberia Incorporated, launched the Advancing Teachers Education Project in collaboration with the Bureau of Teachers Education in 2015 in the borough of Newtown to train teachers in the low-income bracket across Liberia.
At the end of the program, about 55 students were awarded diploma for successfully completing the requirements of the institution and those required by the National Commission on Higher Education. You listen to the National Training Director of the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College, Reverend Andrew Faya. Earlier, you listened to the Director of Governmental and International Affairs of the National Port Authority, Dawood Ability. In an effort to strengthen community healthcare, and empower women in Riverside County. The Ruth Coker Collins Development Foundation for Women, Girls, and Youth Empowerment has certificated over 180 trained traditional midwives for their dedication to improving maternal and child care birth across the county. The program, which saw over 200 parading the streets of Yakpatan, was described as the Ruth Coker Collins Development Foundation demonstration of enduring commitment to grassroots development and women's empowerment through the impactful work of the foundation. Speaking during a well-attended program in Riverside County, former Public Works Minister and Chief Executive Officer of the Ruth Coker Collins Foundation, Madam Collins, reaffirmed the foundation's vision of reaching underserved communities with particular focus on women, girls, and frontline healthcare workers. She emphasized that many of the midwives leave their homes at dawn and work long hours with limited resources, yet remain committed to serving their communities with compassion and resilience.
What really concerns us is to identify the problem and then together along with our people solve the problem. So doing these things along with them, it gives us so much suffering and we feel good doing it along with them. So our foundation was established to reach out to the need of the people. We love it around with some of our friends, our colleagues, and then we identify those problems. Then we work along with them, to have some of them to be, solved. We can solve every one of them, but then we work along with them to actually, do some of the things that they don't looking for. So the Ruth Coker Collins Development Foundation is an initiative, basically, to especially women capacity building, youth capacity building, and then we also do farm to market roles. We also do farm, with the farmers. So we got more that coming up on just a few that we can list that we already engaged with. We just do it along with our people. So I'm a woman and I know the constraints midwives go through, especially for now where they are not on a specific salary or being compensated. We've been around them and most time, and the way we see them, we thought that appreciating them for the level of work they have done. Because for what I look at, they serve as like a liaison between the hospital and the community. So they work strongly with the community, and then they bring it to the hospital. So they have been actually doing their best, even though the hospital discourage the home delivering nowadays. So they accompany the pregnant women at the rural hospital. So they actually doing their best. But then we thought, because we are women, we thought to recognize them for the effort that they continue doing on a daily basis. Like they were traumatizing today. I saw what they were traumatizing in machine up to 2 o'clock midnight. Somebody's in labor pain, and then they have to knock your door very early in the morning. They have to.
In remarks, former Minister of Health, Dr. Wilhelmina Jala, lauded the Ruth Coker Collins Development Foundation for its outstanding contribution to strengthening community health care through the certification and honoring of traditionally trained midwives in Riverside County. Speaking at a well-attended ceremony in Yakpatan, Dr. Jala described the initiative as timely and powerful, noting that it recognizes women whose dedication forms the backbone of maternal and child care delivery in rural communities.
We want to first say a big thank you to the Ruth Coker Collins Foundation that took a project and ran with it to make this day possible. Today we are gathered to honor and express our heartfelt gratitude to a remarkable group of women. You are the backbone of the maternal health in all of our communities. Your knowledge has passed down through generations and has provided countless women with support. Passed down through generations and has provided countless women with support. You offer comfort, reassurance, and a sense of safety to expected mothers. We recognize the challenges you have faced often without review, training, and recognition. Yet you continue to serve with grace and resilience. Your efforts have not gone unrecognized. Thank you for your hard work. You heroes in all your communities, and we are grateful for everything you do. Let us continue to work together to ensure that every mother and child receive the care they deserve. I will continue to work with the Ruth Collins Foundation to make sure that we continue to work.
She's former Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala. Earlier, you listened to former Public Works Minister Ruth Coker Collins there in Riverside County. Ahead of the festive season, telecommunications company Orange Liberia has donated full items to residents of Electoral District 8 in Montserrat County. The donation includes 248 half bags of 25 kilograms of bags of rice, along with 150 gallons of cooking oil intended to support vulnerable citizens during the Christmas season. Presented the items an agent of Orange Liberia urged local authorities in District 8 to ensure transparency in the contribution process or distribution process so as the items reach community members fairly and directly. The donation was formally received by District 8 Representative Princeton, who commended Orange Liberia for what he described as a timely relief for the less fortunate during the holiday period. Representative Toes assured the company that the distribution process will be carried out transparently, ensuring that all communities within Montserrat County District 8 benefit from the donation at this time of need.
Okay, Orange is not just here to make business, but we are here to give back to our people. When we say Orange, we mean Orange is here and we are home. And this is our district. So everything we do, we think about the people of Liberia, we think about the people of District 8. So today we want to celebrate the Christmas with the citizens, with the constituents of District 8 by giving back to Liberians in District 8 this donation. We're going to be giving 248 bags of rice and 150 gallons of oil. We want this to reach down to the people in District 8 so that they can have food to eat, so that they can be able to celebrate with their children. So when we say Orange, we want you to know that Orange is here and Orange is always ready to give back to Liberians. Thank you so much. We'll turn these things over to the representative now, Honorable Prince Toes, who will take delivery of them and hand it over to his district.
Thank you so much. So, members of the press, I want to say a big thank you. I say hello to everyone. I want to say a big thank you to Orange Liberia. This is year 2. This is the second distribution that came to our people since the office. We really appreciate it, madam. We say thank you. And the purpose of this item is the work of people that you give our people. We can rest assured that the people of this number 8, the ordinary people, okay? So, Mr. Polly, the chair from Capitol Hill, these things we never saw it before, but today we are seeing it in our district. So, very open process. So, you will take the rest of the leadership down to the district so they can present to our people. I say thank you to Orange Liberia for your support, all your support you've been giving her. We appreciate it. The land is there, right in the Jopatan market. As soon as you guys are ready, we'll take you there so we can start the process. Thank you. And God bless us.
The governor of the borough of Nugritown has delivered the state of affairs of the borough, addressing outlining his administration achievements since his appointment by President Joseph Boakai. Speaking during a meeting with residents at St. Paul Bridge community, Governor Robert Tier disclosed that his administration has been able to see scholarships from the Chinese and Indian embassies for young residents to study in those two countries. Mr. Tier explained that he has also asked the management of the Moreover Brewery Company to construct high school in the borough because it has operated in the area for more than 50 years and there's nothing to show as a social corporate responsibility. The governor of the borough of Nugritown added that his administration has also established a police force to assist the LNP and the Monrovia City Police on security operations in the borough.
And to manage these activities, need people with vast experience, with the expertise who will help us. So, same with them office, last as demonstrated up to now, we are sustaining because we have people who are doing the job. We also go around, we go various departments, sanitation department, every day, people in the street, including the sons and daughters in the street, every day, cleaning. Day and night, you know how the borough very dirty. The best people putting garbage everywhere. And I see that people sick every day. Go to hospital every day. Go, if you get good and someone die, you put it for somebody to go. You take good and someone die, put it for somebody, get somebody born. They never record them. So we are doing this in the help. But many of us who are taking the time, they don't want to pay. When they go to them to do this money, hey, I don't pay. They're not going to pay taxes. We also created the legal department. Send them from mention about legal department, the government office. So when they go to court, they all will make cases. Today I want to inform you, and dear president, people of the community, we are wanting to same to office of the borough program. Don't steal, don't kill, don't rape. Any of you legal matter, let my office know, they will plead for you free of charge. Then the people know. You have the police, and by Mr. Nambe, he's the one who helped the department. Go on the street today, they say the police want to get up there, the national police want to get up. We need security everywhere. So they have this security department.
He's the governor of the borough of Nukrita, Robert Tier. They're speaking. Across the border now, the Libyan army chief has been killed in an air crash in Turkey. Libya's prime minister has said General Mohammed Ali Ahmed al-Haddad and 4 others were on board a Falcon 50 aircraft flying out of Turkish capital Ankara on Tuesday evening. In a post on ex-Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yalikaya said signal with the business jet was lost at 28 hours local time, about 42 minutes after it took off from the Ankara's airport. The Tripoli-born jet has issued an emergency landing request before contact was lost. The aircraft wreckage was later found southwest of Ankara, and an investigation is now underway into what caused the crash. And there is growing anger in Malawi over a post-Christmas fortnight trip to the UK that one of the country's vice president is due to take. Jane Ansha visit will be in a private capacity, but the reported size of both her interaction over the course of the trip has ignited fierce criticism. The details have been disputed by her office. The row began after the circulation of an alleged leak letter of the Malawi High Commission in London, signed by Secretary for Foreign Affairs Chonchen Sinwanka, listing 15 individuals said to accompany Ansha in power since October. The vice president's government has pledged to manage the economy competently and has already announced a raft of austerity measures. Malawian media have published further alleged details about the visit, reportedly from leaked documents saying it will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. While the vice president's office has confirmed the trip, it has disputed the information in circulation about how much the state is spending. To end this news here once again, our top stories: in an effort to strengthen community healthcare and empower women in Riverside County, the Ruth Coker Collins Development Foundation for Women, Girls, and Youth Empowerment certificates 180 trained traditional midwives. National Lottery Authority launched what it describes as major humanitarian donation initiative targeting persons living with disabilities across southeastern region of Liberia. Front Page Africa managing editor Rodney C. criticizes the United Party-led government for what he described as consistent attacks on Front Page Africa and other media institutions over the reportage on national governance away from home. There's growing anger in Malawi over a post-Christmas fortnight trip to the UK that one of the country's vice president is due to take. Many thanks to all of our contributors, editors, and reporters who help in making this edition of King's Newsroom a success. For more news and information on this station, do join us at 1 p.m. or better still, at 6 p.m. for a fresh edition of the program on behalf of the entire team. My name is Cornelius Johnson. I presented Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.